You know, I never thought a regular Tuesday afternoon at the Sunny Valley Cafe would turn my whole world upside down, but there I was, wiping down the sticky counters after the lunch rush, the sun beating down on that dusty parking lot like it was trying to melt everything in sight. And then this piercing scream just ripped through the air, making my blood run cold. I dropped the rag, heart pounding like a drum, and peered out the window to see this little girl, maybe 9 years old, kicking and crying as three rough-looking guys hauled her toward a beat-up van, her tiny hands clawing at the air, eyes wide with terror that hit me right in the gut. Without even thinking, I grabbed the old crowbar we kept under the register for just-in-case moments, those small-town precautions, and bolted out the door, my mind racing with a mix of fear and fury, because who the hell drags a kid like that in broad daylight? Her name was Lily, I learned later, but in that moment, she was just this scared little thing, her pigtails flying as she fought back. And those men, Victor, the ringleader with his scarred face and cold stare, Marco with his twitchy hands, and Diego, the muscle-bound one sneering like he owned the place, they weren't messing around. They had knives glinting in the sun, and I could tell from their coordinated moves this wasn't some random grab. No, this was planned, rooted in some old grudge. Against her grandpa, Henry Iron Bear Malone, who ran the Thunder Riders Biker Club, and these guys were out for revenge over a land dispute gone bad years ago, where Henry had outmaneuvered them on a property deal that cost their boss a fortune in underground dealings. I planted myself right between them and the van, crowbar raised high, my voice coming out steadier than I felt. Hey, back off, or you hear me? Let the kid go, or I'll make sure you regret it. And Victor just laughed, low and menacing, circling me like a shark. Mind your business, lady. This ain't your fight, walk away while you can. But something inside me snapped, that protective instinct kicking in hard, because I'd lost a little sister to a car accident years back and swore I'd never stand by while a child suffered again. The air was thick with tension, dust kicking up from the gravel as Marco lunged first, his knife slashing wild. But I swung the crowbar with everything I had, years of self-defense classes from my ex-boyfriend paying off in that split second, connecting with his arm in a sickening thud, making him yelp and stagger back, cursing under his breath. Diego came at me from the side, grabbing for Lily, who was clinging to my leg now, whispering, "Please don't let them take me," her voice breaking my heart, and I pivoted fast, jabbing the crowbar into his knee, hearing it crack as he howled, "You bitch! You'll pay for that." But I didn't flinch, adrenaline surging like fire in my veins, thinking about how these creeps had probably been stalking Henry for months, using Lily as bait to force him out of hiding over that disputed ranch land that held oil rights or something shady, a feud that had simmered in our quiet town for too long, pitting bikers against local thugs who thought they could muscle in. Victor snarled, pulling out a switchblade. "You think you're a hero? This girl's our ticket to settling scores. Her granddad stole what was ours, and now we're taking payment." His words dripping with that bitter resentment from years of feeling cheated. But I sprayed the mace I always carried in my apron pocket right into his eyes, watching him reel back, blinded and choking, while Lily, bless her brave little soul, kicked at Marco's shin to buy me a second. "Run, Lily, get inside and call for help," I shouted, but she shook her head, tears streaming. "No. I'm staying with you, you're my hero already." My arms were burning, blood trickling from a shallow cut on my shoulder where Diego had grazed me, but I kept swinging, dodging, my mind a whirlwind of doubt and determination. What if I couldn't hold them off? What if they hurt her because of me? Each clash feeling like a scene from one of those action movies. The sun casting long shadows that danced across the lot like ghosts watching the chaos. Then, just as Victor recovered enough to charge again, knife raised high with that desperate rage in his eyes, a low rumble started in the distance. At first, I thought it was thunder, but it grew, vibrating through the ground, engines roaring like a pack of wild beasts closing in, and my heart skipped as I glimpsed the horizon filling with leather and chrome, dozens of bikers tearing down the road toward us. It was the Thunder Riders, all 80 of them, led by Henry himself, that grizzled legend with his bear-like build and eyes that could freeze steel. He'd gotten word somehow, maybe from a lookout or a frantic call, and now they were here, fanning out in perfect formation, dust swirling in golden clouds that caught the light like some epic showdown. The bikers encircled us in seconds, engines thundering so loud it shook the windows of the cafe. Henry dismounting with that commanding presence, his voice booming over the noise. "Step away from my granddaughter. You scum, this ends now." And Victor's face went pale, the cocky sneer wiped clean as he realized the odds had flipped, his plan crumbling under the weight of overwhelming force. Those old grudges suddenly feeling foolish in the face of this storm. I kept Lily shielded behind me, crowbar still up, breathing heavy as the riders formed a wall, their bikes gleaming, shadows stretching long and dramatic. It was like time slowed, every rev of an engine echoing the pounding in my chest, and Lily squeezed my hand, whispering, "Grandpa's here. We're safe." Victor tried one last bluff, knife trembling. "This ain't over. Malone, you took our land, our livelihood." But Henry just stared him down, unflinching. "You crossed the line going after a kid. That's not how we settle things. But today, you learn." As the riders closed in, boots hitting gravel with military precision, I felt the shift no longer alone, but part of something bigger. And when Victor lunged in panic, I blocked him one final time, crowbar clanging against his blade, sparks flying in the sunlight, until two bikers grabbed him, disarming the lot of them in a blur of leather and muscle. Henry approached, his tough exterior cracking just a bit as he knelt to hug Lily, who ran into his arms sobbing. "Grandpa, Emily saved me. She fought them all." And he looked up at me, eyes full of that rare gratitude, nodding slowly like he'd seen something profound. But then the tension peaked, the riders murmuring about old-school justice, ready to dole out vengeance for the kidnapping, their code demanding blood for threatening family, especially over that land feud that had cost lives before. And I stepped forward, voice shaky but firm. "Wait, don't do this, Henry. Lily's watching, and she's safe now. These guys are trash, yeah, but killing them here? That makes us no better. Let the cops handle it. Show her mercy's stronger than hate." The lot went silent, dust settling in golden swirls, engines idling low like a held breath, and Henry paused, weighing my words against decades of rough living, his riders shifting uneasily, one of them Jax, the vice pres muttering, "Boss, they deserve it. The code says payback." But Henry held up a hand, eyes on me, then on Lily, who nodded. "Emily's right, Grandpa. No more hurting." In that moment, something broke, or maybe healed, and Henry declared, loud and clear, "We're not ending them today. Because of this woman here. She's shown us what real strength looks like, protection, not just payback." The riders exhaled, a ripple of surprise turning to respect, and Henry turned to me. "Emily Harper, you saved my blood. That debt's eternal. Your guts, your heart. You're the first sister we'll call matriarch, with say over all our dealings on women and kids, nationwide." I blinked, overwhelmed, whispering me, "I'm just a barista slinging coffee." But he shook his head, handing me a custom jacket with silver eagle patches. "Nah, you're the one who taught an old dog like me that mercy ain't weakness, it's power. From now on, every chapter listens to you on protection matters." Lily beamed, clapping. "Aunt Emily's our leader now." And the riders nodded, some chuckling in disbelief, others saluting, as we handed the creeps over to the sheriff, who rolled up, sirens blaring, their faces twisted in shock at the unexpected mercy that upended their world. From there, it snowballed. We set up Lily's guard that very evening, repurposing the riders' network for kids' safety, rapid responses to threats, trauma care. The works. My first call as matriarch was protocols for healing over hurting. Bikers getting badges for rescues instead of scars from fights, transforming that land feud energy into something good. Lily and I moved to a safe spot, escorted by a few riders, her laughter echoing as she played under their watch, a sound that healed old wounds in me, reminding me how one split-second choice can rewrite everything. Looking back, as the sun dipped that day, painting the lot in amber glow, I stood there in my new jacket, exhausted but alive with purpose, a small-town barista turned guardian, showing a brotherhood that true family protects without destroying. But here's the thing that still nags at me: was mercy the right call, or should we have let the old code rule to send a message? These guys got jail time, sure, but in a world full of grudges like that land mess, does compassion really win, or does it invite more trouble? What do you think? Drop a comment below. Share if you've faced something similar in your community. Hit that like if mercy resonates, or subscribe for more real-life twists that make you question justice. Your stories keep this going, so let's hear 'em.